Hey y'all, welcome in. If you are new or just passing through my channel, welcome. My name is Tam. I'm also known as the Enlightened Auntie, and if you're returning, welcome back, squad. I'm here today to do another general collective reading. We're not sign specific here, we're also gender fluid. I may say you when I'm talking to them, may say them when I'm talking to you. Put yourself in the story wherever you seem to fit. Remember that time and energy are fluid, so I could be talking about the recent past, the present, or the future. Just take the parts that resonate for you now, leave the rest behind. If you'd like to book a personal more aligned with your own story, all of my information is below in the description box. I invite you to join me for a session. My books are always open. If you're relatively new here, because I do see my numbers going up a little bit, some of my readings do reach into the future a bit, so if you go back into the archives maybe 6 to 8 months, you might find some titles back there that resonate more for you now in the present. So I invite you to go dig around back there. And for those of you who are digging around in the archives, I do see you. All right, y'all, let's tap in. I think I mentioned before, I got like a bunch of new decks for Christmas. I only actually liked half of them. But I'm going to grab one and we're going to start today's reading off with a new deck. Let's see if we can tap into some different energies or get some more details on the stuff that we already know. All right, let's tap in and see what Spirit wants us to know. The Magician. Wow. I actually like this energy. I like this energy. I'm talking today to a master manifester. Okay. I'm like all the nuance I'm picking up off of this deck. Okay, let's talk about this. You are a master manifester, right? And it's interesting because I know I've talked about this before. I've used it in examples for other readings where, like, when we talk about the shell game and keeping things kind of out of reach or whatever, you also have this ability. Because I think when I talk about that in context, I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm talking about usually the karmics. And I think when we were talking about the shell game, we were talking about that keep away of the Ace of Pentacles, because we know that that's been a big theme that's been playing it. But this tells me I am getting some otherworldly energy off of this card. Interesting. This was like you have someone who's also observing you or has been observant of you and your skills, whatever those are. Okay. I'm like, I really just want to focus on this Magician card. The other thing that I'm getting is you have this, and this is part of the reason why people can't, like the outsiders, the observers, like they can't always like pin you down, because I just heard the word stealth. Like you move fluently, but you also move very quickly from, like, I don't know, like from one energy to another. And if that's not you, I'm not talking about you. But this energy kind of feels like if people think you are doing one thing, okay, thank you, Spirit. I'm like, okay. If people think you're doing one thing, they dismiss the fact that you have skills to do other things. So even if someone were to target a particular area of your life, because you have other skills and other things that you are really good at that they may not know about. Because I do see where there's someone here. I'm paying a lot of attention to this person that's observing or kind of watching in the wings. They're in a shadow. Like maybe you can't see them. You don't know that, you may not necessarily be overtly aware of their presence, but there is somebody who's kind of like standing over here. And you may have your focus, at one point, like on this one thing, but you got focused on a bunch of other things and they don't know what those things are. So it's hard to kind of like, it's hard to attack what you don't know or what you can't see, right? They don't know what to go after. Remember, we've talked about like being very silent about what you're working on. And I do see where people feel some kind of way, because in this Knight of Pentacles energy, we know that the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight of the entire deck. And it's really interesting because now I'm focused. I love this deck, by the way. I forgot what it was called. The Unveiled Tarot. This Knight of Pentacles, you have, now this card has 4 people in it, right? The Knight, and then there's 3 other people who are kind of, we have one who's watching, who just is in, I feel like this person's kind of in awe of like whatever it is that you do. And it feels very much like, I mean, I could be wrong. This person looks like they're in awe. I'm like, where's my magnifying? I don't even know where my magnifying glass is. I'm like, they kind of look like they're in awe. But then you have another person who is like hot on your heels, right? They seem angry because no matter what, you always seem to be like ahead of them. Like you're always going to, like in this situation, you're always going to be ahead of them. They're on a merry-go-round. I'm like, they're on a merry-go-round and you're on the horse in front of them. So you're always going to be in front of them. The person that may be in awe of you could potentially be somebody who is older. And when I say they're in awe, it's because you're behind them. You're behind. I mean, I say in awe, but I'm like, now that I'm looking at the face, maybe she's not in awe. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe she's not in awe. Maybe she's not in awe. She's looking at you. But I'm like, the optimistic part of me wants to say she's in awe. Maybe she's not in awe. Because now that I'm really looking at the face, she could be a little bitter Betty. I don't know. It's because you seem you're undistracted. Like you have the ability. This is the part that people have a problem with. Like you can come up with the greatest ideas, but if you don't have the diligence to sustain, like this energy tells me that whoever you are, you know how to manage doing some repetitive shit over and over and over and over and over and over again till you get it right. And then once you perfect the method, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right? Because you know that if I stay the course and like I can see you're looking straight ahead, you're not distracted, there could be people, you have somebody who wants to be kind of in your energy because it does come with like clout chasey. I want to be cool because I'm connected to the collective. Then you have somebody who maybe, I heard dreams deferred. Yo. Okay. So the person that's in front of you, they're in front of you, but they're looking at you. So they're not even paying attention to the direction that they're going. They're looking at you, but I say in awe because that's what it feels like. It's kind of like, how do you do that? Because some people like, I'm going to lean on blaming this on a fixed sign energy. Because when you have fixed placements in certain areas, you get very determined. Like you're not gonna give up. You're gonna focus on this shit, and you're gonna hunker down, and you're gonna stay true to it, right? Even when it hurts you, right? But this person kind of, because see here, if the person is looking at you and they're not paying attention to what's in front of them, newsflash, You could be this person that's watching you, spending more time paying attention to you than what's in front of them, could actually be, putting themselves in a loop of disaster just because they don't know what they're not paying attention to their own life. They're too busy paying attention to you, feeling like you're too close, you're catching up to them, but it's your diligence. Like when I say you are focused, you are focused. You have been focused, but you got somebody who's behind you who's kind of pissed off, and they're pissed off because you always seem to be ahead of them. You got somebody who's watching you, half in awe because the level of determination unmatched. And then you got somebody down here who kind of just wants to be loosely connected to you because it gives them some sense of clout, coolness, cool points. Okay, but I am getting another worldly energy for you as a master manifestor. I like it. All right. Too many cards. I just want two. Damn. So maybe in the recent past, you were in an environment where you may not have felt very celebrated. You may not have felt very supported. Like folks want to be around. They only want to be around during the good times, but when you hit some bad times, they weren't around. And so there may have been a period of time where this looks like definitely the people that want to be around during the good times. And you may have had to do a lot of self-consolation during the bad times. You may have had to console yourself, learning to heal and create a kind of balance. When I talk about like the attention that you pour into other people, learning how to pour that back into yourself, because that's when we spend too much time nurturing others and not enough time focusing on ourselves, we are the one who ends up hurting. We're the ones who end up suffering. So when you find yourself in a position where, all those people that you had once poured into, everybody turned their back the moment you hit a rough patch, this is the moment where, you had to come to Jesus moment, and you started pouring back into yourself. I like it. Wow. So I see here where, ooh, I see here where there's someone who I feel like they're unhappy. They're unhappy because you're happy. I'm like, there's no other way to describe this. They're unhappy because you're happy. You may have had to make a really tough call and this tough call largely relied on you being honest with yourself and about being observant of the situations and relationships that you've been connected to. Music may have been a huge component to your healing. But I do believe that it may have required you to kind of step back from something. And because you made those choices, you got somebody over here who is not very happy, because even in the removal, like you remove yourself from this environment, it almost feels like I didn't know I could feel this. I didn't know I could feel this good. Like I didn't know that this decision would cause me to feel like I thought that by making this decision I would be hurt. And yeah, you're gonna, your feelings might be hurt a little bit, but you get over it. I'm like, you get over it. But on this side, it feels very much like you never thought that having to separate from certain people or removing yourself from certain environments would bring you the kind of happiness. And though you aren't happy that you had to make the decision, you've discovered a different level of peace and happiness that you did not realize that was possible. Baby, I think this deck is about to be my new favorite next to this shuffle deck. I like this. Oh. Oh, look at that. I love it. I'm gonna grab one more. Oh, damn. They didn't expect that. So, okay, now I do have counterparts out here, but if you're single, I'll talk about it from both sides. If you're single, this energy feels like the closure, like a not like closure, like a cycle completion, right? There's a successful cycle completion. You've learned everything that you needed to learn out of, the experience. And part of the experience was you learning to love yourself the way that you were pouring into loving these other people, or this, wherever you were that you had to move yourself from. It's kind of like learning how to love yourself. Like, I'm hearing adjust your crown. And then learning how to maintain a certain level of like peace and equilibrium, not rejecting your feelings. I think that's what a lot of people do. They go through all these emotions or whatever, and because they're rejecting, I don't know how to describe this. It's like the rejection of the reality of how they really feel, and then that internal chaos. It's weird. It's like that thing, like when you're making decisions that that kind of go against everything that's on the inside, where you feel like this turmoil. Like, folks don't know how to, if they're not really grounded and they're not emotionally mature, they don't really know how to like kind of harness all that energy. And for you, I think whatever you had to experience, it required you to kind of really be in touch with the feelings, in touch with the reality of how you felt. But then at the same time, not abandoning yourself in those times of deep, like, emotional turmoil. Like, not, I don't know, it's something about it was like there was a lesson involved there where that's what you needed to do. You needed to learn how to kind of self-regulate your emotions despite whatever may have been going on around you, so that you can, self-mastery. Basically, that's really what this is. It was about learning how to master the self and not take impulsive actions that create, like, I think yesterday we talked about, somebody who who takes, makes risky, hasty decisions and doesn't really acknowledge the ramifications of the actions, and then they're looking to somebody to bail them out. This here, I like this particular tower because this tower tells me this isn't so much about like, demolishing something, but this is about the course correction based on the previous actions. So like in the past, you may have been very impulsive, and you may have been, and that impulsiveness comes from, your emotions being completely all over the place. Like, and really what it just required of you to do is just to learn how to sit still and pay attention to how you feel without dishonoring yourself, but not abandoning yourself at the same time when your emotions are like all over the place. It's course correction. I actually like this. Now, if you're coupled, same kind of thing, but it again, there was something in the relationship that maybe it kind of leans more on the masculine side, where maybe there's a lesson in maybe the way that we communicate with one another. Okay. This feels like somebody learning how to better communicate versus being impulsive and I mean, the Martian energy is loud out here, but it's like it's kind of like the reflection of, when you, especially if you're like looking back at the past and looking at, because when you're neurospicy, we look at patterns. We look at patterns of behavior, speech. I know if I do this is going to happen because that's how it always works. Here it feels like somebody learning how to, by looking back at the past and the way that things were carried out in the past. Yeah, it's like looking at the way things may have been done in the past and then learning how to make different decisions that are less impulsive so that we're not burning down the house. Okay. I'm okay with that. Oh, somebody's mad. Somebody's mad. Ooh, they mad. Somebody is mad because you may have let them go. Especially if they are a part of the component of people that didn't support you in your time of need. There it is. Because this person has an expectation of you helping them. Now, if you are partnered, I want to caution you. Oh, I love this. Damn. Womp, womp, womp. Okay. So, okay, if you're partnered, okay, we know part of yesterday's marriage. It could be a married couple. Part of yesterday's message, I talked about not letting your problem be my problem. I do have that down here because this is what's going on in the background. You have someone here who, I like that you've learned your lesson with them. Whoever this is for you, you've already learned your lesson. You've closed out the cycle. So there's that, right? They're upset. They're probably talking shit about you. This person is somebody who will gossip, tell your secrets, lie about you, whatever, right? They want to spin a story. It could literally be this woman that's sitting here that's watching you, or it could be this person that's behind you. This person wants to come in hoping that you be generous, because I feel like this person is at some type of like I said, they're at some type of financial deficit, or they're feeling a sense of instability. This person is drowning. They're drowning. This person may be under extreme debt, or they may have some, like, a storm going on around them, and they're looking for help. Now, there is an expectation that someone will help them, but there's also a strong possibility. There's a strong possibility that they're going to be denied, because this looks like denial. Sorry, I don't have it. And then this person being pissed because they weren't expecting someone to say no. They weren't expecting the tower. crazy. This almost feels like somebody who damn near wants to go to war behind the fact that they were told no. Crazy. Because the thing is that when you do stuff, I don't understand. I'm like, I don't understand, because I'm just like looking at the cards here, especially when I'm looking at this Three of Cups. Because and this isn't a past energy. What this Three of Cups looks like to me, it looks like folks were down. They were down for a good time, and as long as you were having a good time, they were down. Like I said, they were down to be a part of the good time. But once that good time was over, and it's like having a party, you know, they want to come and party with you, but once the party is over and the house is thrashed, nobody wants to stick around to help you clean up the mess. You just provided the party for them. You know what I mean? So whoever this person is, I definitely feel like they're part of this energy in the past, that they were there as long as you had good time, food, beverage, and music and party favors. They were good for that. They were good for that. They were good for you being the one pouring into them, and they were good during that. But when you hit a low time, which is where they are, they're at a low point. So now that they have a need, they want to come circling back to you like, hey, noticed you were gone. Notice you haven't been around. Notice you're doing very well. Very well. Despite everything you've been through. Do you have a hamburger today that I could gladly pay you for on Tuesday? Because I'm a little short today. And this is you going, well, based on past experience and how I know you live your life and how you've handled me, how you've handled your life, I'm sorry that you're going through this, but I'm not going to be able to help you. As soon as you tell this person no, they're going to lose their shit. They're going to want to go to war. Which is insane. Because I'm like thinking to myself, when I turn to people, and it wasn't even so much that I turned to people for help, I automatically knew that I wasn't going to get the kind of emotional support that I was looking for. I did turn to people for emotional support. Had one motherfucker tell me, sorry, I can't deal with your problems. I got problems of my own. And I was like, oh. Never ask that person for shit ever again. And that was my lesson. That was the first lesson. That was the first lesson in Empathy 101 for me. I'm good to gas you up. I'm good to celebrate and cheer you on. I am good for the moral support. But if I ever need, I just really needed an ear. I didn't want nothing from them. I just needed somebody to talk to. And I was turned away. Just talking. I'm not asking you for money. I ain't asking you for a roof over my head. I'm not asking you to do nothing. Just sit and hold the phone. Hell, you could have just put the phone down and let me talk. I probably would have been okay with that too. But I'm perplexed right now that somebody would want to go to war because you tell them no. Wild. Okay. I'm like, maybe this ain't your reading. I mean, I see your energy out here. So the fears and concerns. Somebody feels like, I don't want to call you heartless. I'm seeing it two different ways. I'm like, the person that's coming to you could absolutely be heartless. This person's a liar. They're a liar. And I feel like oh, I actually kind of like this. That's interesting. So, okay. So the person here, whoever, there's somebody here looking, they're observing you. Remember, I've said in a couple of different places, I'm like, there's observation in a bunch of these cards where they're kind of like off, there's somebody like off to the corner, like kind of looking at you and watching you do whatever you do, right? You appear to be self-made. You're very content, independent, stable. And I'm not saying you're like balling out of control or anything like that, but you have what you need and you're good. But someone is also observing the fact that you are protecting that which you have created. It is, they see you, but they can't see exactly what you've been working on or how you achieved the sense of stability that you have gained. They may view you as, I don't want to say heartless, because you still, you're very loving and whatever, but your shit is cut off when it comes to them. Like if you had warm, fuzzy, lovey-dovey feelings for this person in the past, maybe them feelings don't exist anymore. They don't exist anymore. Yeah, see, and here's the thing. Part of the blockage is the fact that this person actually thinks that they feel like they think that they're being clever in trying to approach you. Like they think they're getting away with something. Um, but they're not. And it's kind of crazy because I feel like this person, they may need to come and apologize to you. They may need to apologize for whatever they've done. But I kind of get the impression that either they need to apologize to not just you, but to a bunch of other people. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This could have a family component. This could have a family component. It could be two things. I'm like, one, they may need to offer you an apology, like a sincere apology. And that's part of the problem. But they may also need to apologize to a bunch of other people. Like if this is a family situation, they may owe a bunch of people an apology. And they may be, okay, the way I'm receiving this energy, I heard the word shelter. They were seeking shelter. Not like seeking shelter like I need a roof over my head. Not like that. Shelter like I need your protection. I need your protection. I need your shelter from the other people that they need to apologize to. Like, so if this is a family dynamic, they would need to apologize, but I don't know. It's kind of like maybe if I make it right with you, then, maybe it smooths things out with the others. Something like that. Only problem that I have is that even if this person were to apologize, like that is part of the blockage. They need to come with a sincere apology. This person's a whole ass liar. So let's just, put that out there. They're a liar. So even if they were to apologize, I don't know how sincere it would actually be. Listen, before I even go any further, it's so funny. I've got like scented candles going all through the house or whatever because last night around, actually I don't even know what time it was because I didn't open my eyes. I could smell it though. I thought my youngest son is like the only other person in this house that cooks. but he has a very weird sleeping schedule. So he's known for cooking at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's not unusual for us here. He's known for that. So I can wake up in the middle of the night and smell like bacon and eggs cooking or shit like that, whatever. But I smelled this smell and I didn't know what it was, but I was thinking, what in the hell? All I kept thinking of, what in the hell in my house do I have in my refrigerator that smells like ass? Like, I don't know what he's cooking, but it smells disgusting. I never bothered to look at my phone, but my daughter had texted me at like, I don't know, 1:30 this morning saying, oh my God, it's a skunk and the whole house downstairs smells disgusting. Well, evidently my older son, he thought something was burning because initially it smelled, that onset of skunk smell. He said he smelled like something was burning. He opened the window that let the scent in the house. Then they were trying to scramble to figure out how to get the smell out. I do actually have a picture. I didn't see it last night, so it might not have been in the camera, but I do have a picture of a skunk crossing my walkway in the middle of the night. I caught it on the Ring camera because I heard Lucky barking in the middle of the night. And we have a neighbor who has she's like the neighborhood cat lady, so she's always feeding. We got that woman. We live in a cul-de-sac. That woman has like at least 4 or 5 cats that are like just chilling in her house, but they're always terrorizing Lucky. Like, you hear them barking and stuff when I'm recording. But they're like all through the neighborhood and they just go back from house to house, but they play in our yard. They chill up underneath our cars and all that stuff. So I know the times when we smell skunk is because that skunk and them cats are out there doing their thing. And I don't know, it must have been on the property. Because this morning I saw my husband hosing down the back of the car. So I don't know if something was sprayed on the back shot. I don't know, but there's remnants of skunk smell in my house and I'm trying to combat that. So if anybody has helpful suggestions on ways to minimize the smell, it smells not as bad. I mean, the candles are definitely helping, but I can still smell the skunk smell in the air. My son didn't get any sleep last night because it was really bad. So I know if it smelled really bad in my room, and I mean really bad, my room's the only room upstairs, it smelled really bad downstairs. And my son was like, I'm not going to work today. I did not get any sleep because that smell was just horrid. So if y'all got suggestions on how to get rid of that or mask the skunk smell, please drop it in the comments. I'm like, this is the city. Like, we live in a suburb, but damn, skunks and coyotes are a thing right now because we live near a flood channel. So they come down the mountain through that flood channel and then they branch out into the neighborhood. So we've got sightings of skunks and coyotes all over the place right now. It's crazy, especially because it's been a lot of rain and stuff and they're looking for food. All right, let's get back to this. But I'm like, I just got a whiff of skunk, so I'm like, oh my God, yeah. What I say every time we get over here. When I ask, whether I say it out loud or I say it in my mind, what needs to be released? If they have something of yours of monetary value, they have to release it. They have to release it. And they got to apologize. There's somebody here who's been trying to... There's someone here. You come off... This is you. This is you. This is you. You come off as very... It's interesting because I wouldn't normally say that about this card, but you have a very authoritative energy about you. But it's not like domineering. It's a quiet dominance. You know what I'm saying? It's very grounded. Regal is the word that I heard. Very regal. Okay? Self-made. Self-made. Someone here has been trying to one-up you, backstab you, play mind games, manipulate others to influence, and all that other shit. If they have something of monetary value that belongs to you, they have to give it to you. They have to release it. Is that a grenade? Oh my god. So somebody is... Oh, wow. Okay. So there looks like there is the potential here of some kind of communication, right? Somebody's kind of they're going back and forth about whether to communicate to. I don't know who this is, but it kind of feels like somebody debating on whether or not to communicate. There is silence between you right now. Do I communicate this to you? Because when this communication comes in, it is going to detonate like a bomb when it lands. Okay? It's going to detonate like a bomb when it lands. So somebody is trying to figure out how to plan this, how to do this. How do I communicate this? There are other people that are just watching. It's interesting because now that I'm like looking, there's 2 people here in the background watching. There's 2 people here. There's 2 people here. There's 3 people here. And a person back here in the corner. So this feels like, yeah, because whatever is being communicated, it could literally land like a bomb. Now this is interesting. I was going to say the number 802 may be significant. But then on the other hand, when I was looking, I'm like, it kind of looks like an 80%. I'm like 80%. There's someone here who's trying to make a strategic move and they're not really sure which way to move. And at this point, they're unable to really do a whole lot of anything because there are some feelings here that are kind of keeping them submerged. They have feelings that are very much hidden underneath the surface. Someone's being forced to look at something from a different point of view. They might even be refusing to. It's like I kind of get the impression like somebody knows better, but they just, it's like when you know better, but then and still refuse to do better. Ooh. This kind of feels like somebody who's unwilling to admit the truth that something is actually over. There's been somebody out here that's been trying to betray. They've been backstabbing you. And there's, we know the Ten of Swords is like, it's an ending, but it's like a painful, bitter ending. And you got yourself out. And I think whatever you've walked away from, I don't think you're very worried about. You might not even be worried. Like if you moved away from certain people, we know that once we walk away, we cannot control the narrative of what people are talking about once we exit. So I don't think that you care. I don't think that you care, honestly. Because what this is giving out of sight, out of mind. I don't think that you care. Yeah, this is like making a executive decision. Remember when I said here, it's like people were down with you in the good times. When the down times came, everybody left, everybody abandoned you, and you kind of had to figure out for yourself how to pour back into yourself the way that you were pouring into these people. And that's exactly what you did. You made an executive decision and you took action. Like, I don't know. This also could be too. I'm looking at this as you thing. You focusing, taking action and focusing on like yourself, focusing on, because where you put your energy, where your mind goes, your energy flows, right? I've been encouraging people to constantly pour into yourself. Like, stop pouring into relationship dynamics that don't actually offer you the same reciprocal kind of energy. So just pour into yourself the same way you were pouring into them, and watch your life turn around. Watch your life begin to flourish, right? That right here, that's what this looks like. Pouring into yourself and becoming or crafting yourself into a main character. I love it. Love it. Yes, look at you. And if you are partnered, I absolutely love this. Oh, this is good energy. Look at the healing. Oh, I love it. Okay. I love this. I'm like, oh, I love this. This is moving away to calmer waters. This is choosing, like, if I'm talking to a couple, like, this is y'all are like Bonnie and Clyde. Like, this is, and I know I have somebody in my comments that often talk about Bonnie and Clyde. This is different. This is not, whoever I'm talking about this is a positive energy. This is definitely divine masculine, divine feminine. But these are like ride or die for each other, fuck everybody else. It's me and you, right? We're moving past the disappointments of how things, because remember I said here, I was like, maybe someone is learning, because someone here had to learn, and it could be both people. I mean, it ain't just, I mean, I'm saying it was the masculine because it's on the masculine side, but it really it could be both. Where, needing to learn how to better communicate, learning how to be more measured in and honest. But learning from the past, it's definitely about having the ability to learn from past disappointments and mistakes, learning how to heal the connection, and those things take time. It takes time in order to create this change and release. I love the fact that the devil comes out. I love this. I love this. I actually like this devil card because as I'm talking about this particular line, it does affect the lineage. It affects your family, especially if you have children. And there's something that had been, that was binding within a family dynamic, a particular behavior pattern that was toxic. This is about learning how to heal those things. I love this energy. This is really good energy. And that also creates change. You know what I'm saying? That does create a tower. That's change. We like it. All right. Tell me about this Queen of Swords down here. Who is this chick? Womp womp. I don't know who this person is for you, but maybe in the past you might have been. I don't know who this person. I'm like, I don't know who this is for you. I'm like, I don't even know who it is for me because I know I've done this for a few people. I'm like, I don't know who this is for you. maybe in the past, whoever this person is, like I said, it does go along with the impulsiveness of like the same person we talked about yesterday, right? Maybe you were the kind of person who would like not necessarily jump in, but when you knew that this person was getting ready to make an impulsive decision, you would jump and be like, hey, let me give you some things to think about before you rush off to go do all these things, right? I kind of feel like in your absence, obviously you're not available to stop them. Oversee. Now this is interesting that I said oversee because this Six of Swords is actually an airplane and not in a boat. So this is giving me like this higher vantage point of being able to see something. You hadn't been like maybe you were. It's funny, my husband used to accuse me of being a helicopter mom early in. And I did, but it was more like out of fear. I didn't want my kids to get hurt. It's different than I think because I grew up a latchkey kid and I grew up while I was monitored, yes, it was very kind of raise yourself, raise yourself, figure it out. But because you moved on, you're not available to kind of hover over them and see what they're doing. And so I feel like whoever this person is that you've released, they may have taken some action or done something that they didn't have, got themselves caught up. Damn. Somebody here got themselves caught up because they didn't have that protection of the bubble that we provide, right? We provide this kind of like otherworldly angelic protection bubble around people when they're connected to us, and they didn't have that. So now whoever this person is who thinks that this is definitely a know-it-all, this is somebody who talks outside of her neck, this is a what's the word, distorted feminine energy, this is somebody who thinks they know it all. They don't know a whole lot. And this is definitely somebody taking swift action without thinking, and then their lives like completely losing control because there was nobody to like catch them or oversee. But literally that was part of, you learn to not take action, not to commit to certain things based on your emotions. This person, no emotional regulation, they jump. And so whatever's happening to them in the background, they didn't plan for that. They didn't plan for that. So it would make sense that for them to justify coming to you and saying, I need help, right? Because in the past, you had always kind of been there to like buffer the blows. Oh shit, I forgot to clarify the future. Hold on. Nope, too many cards. Look at that. You know what? I think we're dealing with somebody who, and I don't know, like I said, I don't know what you do or how you do it or what you've been doing. You could be very spiritual. You could be some type of spiritual leader, viewed as a leader, viewed as some type of spiritual leader. I don't know. It's weird because this would come out. Normally this energy for me would be like, okay, it would be, for me, this is the equivalent of like, say, I don't know who this is. Like I'm getting a family dynamic or family, some type of familial connection. Doesn't have to be. But this energy here almost feels like if you are, I said you're otherworldly, but if you are deeply intuitive and spiritual, and maybe your methods are, not saying going against tradition, but your methods may be a little different. I kind of get the impression that there's someone here that doesn't necessarily, they've not wanted other people to see you this way. Because on one hand, I kind of get the impression that somebody here is trying to demonize you based on your beliefs or who you are. So they don't actually want people to see you in the light that you actually carry. But the thing is that you're not afraid to be you. You know what I mean? You're not afraid to march to the beat of your own drum. You're not afraid of, honestly, you don't care what other people think. You don't care what anybody thinks. You don't let that shit, like, live in your head rent free. Like, you don't subscribe to that. And so now that people going into the future, as you begin to reveal more of who you are, it's sending somebody into like a state of depression, because I work so hard to not have people look at you or see you in the light that you carry. I wanted them to see you in the light that I was shining on you, based on lies. Wow. Did I mention I love this deck? I'm like, I really like this deck. Listen. You're giving main character energy, baby. They didn't want people listening to you. Now people take your lead. Like, you take the lead and they follow. They listen to you. Okay. I'm like, I see something else. I see an energy. I'm like looking from the top to the bottom. This looks like somebody making a discovery about this is like a disco. Okay, there's this, I'm looking at the silhouettes here. There's a man and a woman. Remember how we talked about when I use the Lenormand Kippen, there's always the Kipper Lenormand, there's always man and a woman. So this feels like there could be somebody here who's, I heard ear hustling. They kind of look like they're ear hustling. But this is like somebody who discovers the truth about the loss of or blocking of an opportunity or a windfall. Somebody making a willful decision to block something, but the purpose was for travel. That's funny that it would come out this way. We've talked about this before though, but that's what I see here. It's like, oh, especially if this is somebody, okay, thank you. Let me grab one more card. Because I'm like, let me go back to this. Oh, okay. All right. So let's talk about this woman down here. Okay. This woman, this is distorted feminine energy. The woman that wants to come towards you with her hand out based on the decisions that she's made. Like, her life is out of control now ever since you departed. You departed from the scene. This person's life is they lost control of their life. I want to say largely because they've been so much spending their time focusing on your life, right? This energy feels like, if I had to look at this, feels like, because this is rejection, this could even be a lie to keep some type of resources from you at the command of another person. So people may have looked at this woman as some type of leader. So if they won, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. There could be like 4 people very close to this woman. There could be 4 people that are close to this woman who at her advice or her direction, they did whatever she encouraged them to do. It may have been because they were bribed or paid. I'm like, oh, there's so much here. They may have bribed or paid somebody to make these decisions. Now, this windfall, opportunity, whatever, they got people riled up. Oh, the number of people in these cards. Now, all the cards that's here down on the bottom that's connected to this woman, I'm like, whoa. So they got a bunch of people involved because you departed. You walked away up here. You chose your partner. You sacrificed. I don't know who this person is for you, but you sacrificed this person, these other people. Whether if you're single, you sacrifice them to come into harmony with yourself. If you're partnered, you sacrifice all these people for your partner. Like, you chose your partner and not the people, right? The way that this woman, the way that she got them involved is they were looking at her, I heard like a savior. Jesus wept. They were looking at her as though she was like speaking the truth. She got all of these people around her angry. She got them angry enough to where they jumped on the bandwagon with her. So if this Ace of Pentacles, say technically over here, didn't belong to her, because remember I said part of what needs to be released is something of a large monetary value that doesn't belong to them, that needs to come to you, okay? So if that's this here, she may have enticed these people with, she gave them, okay, here, I'm like, it's like a game show. Gave them an option. You can do this or you can do that. These people chose to go against you at her lead. But because justice is being served, if she has something that doesn't belong to her, she may also be losing it. And that would make up for this down here. Okay, so the other thing too, remember when I talk about you being like self-made and whatever, and it's your perseverance that has kind of kept you afloat, because you've been able to like stay focused on the goal that you have. And you may have, like I said, you got skills in other areas, so they may have attacked particular areas of your life, the ones that they could kind of see, or the ones that they just knew automatically. But like I said, you have other skills and other things that you have going on that other people don't know anything about. They don't know anything about it. They don't know how you do it. They don't know how you execute it. You just pop out with it, So it's kind of like, It's funny because not only are you rejecting them, like this woman, whoever this woman is, I mean, it doesn't have to be a woman, it could be a man operating in feminine energy. But when you disconnected from this woman, or when you cut this woman off, you may have also cut off all the other people that were connected. So they all now have the same common theme. Like, it's weird because it's like rah, rah, rah against the collective, right? Like, I'm like, chase your charge. Like, rah, rah, rah against the collective. Because, the collective has rejected all of us. Now, people are realizing that going up against you based on what this woman has said under her direction, they may be not, they're not, things ain't so hot for them. I'm like, things ain't so hot for them. They're not doing so well. They don't actually like being on the outside. They don't actually like being disconnected from you, but their disconnect from you was largely based on lies that this woman told them. They don't like being out here, but they are out here, and they're out here. I'm like, they're out here getting their ass kicked for trying to go along with this woman. So there is some significant loss here. Baby, there's some significant loss here that somebody did not anticipate. I don't even have the Wheel of Fortune out here, but this is almost kind of giving me Wheel of Fortune type of energy. It's like they always thought that they would be on the upper half of the wheel, and that's not what's happening. And now they're devastated because that's crazy. Like, whoever this person is, if they hadn't been so damn sketchy in their behavior, they could have had it all. Literally, they could have had it all. But this person chose to lie about you. And I mean, and we know the King of Swords in the reverse is a narcissist. And I feel like this person, whoever they are, it is connected to you by family. This person has like this weird this sense of entitlement to what is yours, to what you have created all by yourself. The sense of stability, the sense of peace, the sense of happiness. They feel entitled to having a piece of your pie. I'm sorry, what? So the fact that you kind of turn your back and you're not paying any attention to them, child, they never expected that to happen. But I'm also seeing here too, because like I said, they may owe a bunch of people an apology, because there's a bunch of people that are down bad. Everybody that got involved. Listening to this fool. Yeah, it's kind of like whatever. I said they got to apologize to a bunch of different people. But the thing is, and they don't, okay, whoever this is, they don't want smoke. I said that yesterday or 2 days ago. This feels like somebody who they want to offer an apology, but it almost feels like they're not saying this is an expectation, but it's like, if I apologize because karma's whooping my ass. I think I said this before, like somebody thinks that like an apology would absolve them of the sins. Like, so maybe if I come and tell the collective what I've done, and I come and apologize, that because I still have to apologize to all these other people, maybe the collective will kind of come in and shield me from all the people that I've fucked over. Child, they can't even defend themselves for what they've done, for what they initiated. They can't defend themselves for that. There is no defense. Baby, when I say reap what you sow, you know what this is? It's like collecting something that they didn't earn. And I see that in a couple of different places. Collecting something that they didn't actually earn. And then the blowback is the repercussions of having something that they didn't earn, that potentially that they took. Reap what you sow. So if they have something that doesn't belong to them, and say they lose it, I'm telling you, they've been more focused on you and what you're doing, not so much their own loss. So this person is experiencing or getting ready to experience some kind of loss, and it's because their focus has solely been on you. Their focus has been on you. They've been needing to focus on their own life. I mean, this is not just the life, but their health, their living situation, like their relationships, like all of that. They have been so busy watching you grow that they haven't been taking any actual action towards focusing on what they needed to focus on. And that is what's causing the decline. So if they're losing a sense of stability and whatnot, that's not your fault. That has nothing to do with you. And everything to do with this person and what they thought they were getting away with. Now, get 2 more cards. Okay, here's the thing. Wow. Okay, here's the thing. Whoever this person is that we're talking about, they haven't actually changed. So even if they want to come towards you, and they're thinking, I'm telling you, they're thinking of ways to, they have been actively thinking of ways to approach you. It's kind of, now that I'm looking at this hangman in a different light, it almost feels as though they may not be able to come towards you. They may be like, it's kind of like something is hindering them from communicating. It could also too, because you're just really protected. Like I think I've talked about this before. It's like, even if folks wanted to, there are certain situations and certain people that are not able to gain access to you because your spirit team, the Most High, is not allowing that to take place. This person has not changed. They've not changed. And I think the thing is that someone here, they want to come in with some type of an emotional offer, like, let's start again, let's try again, let's start over. But I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what cards I use, don't matter how many times I do these spreads. The only reason why this person wants, if this is family, the only reason why they want to come back in and be a part of you or whatever you got going on is because they feel a sense of instability without you. And they only like the appearance of being being connected to you. Remember when I said down here, I was like, you kind of got somebody here is like, kind of like, you have one who's like mad because they're behind you and you're ahead of them, right? It doesn't matter. They're always going to be mad because they're behind you. Then you have somebody who's in front of you, but they're paying attention to you without really seeing what's in front of them. And then you've got somebody down here who's doing absolutely nothing, and they just want to be in close proximity for a clout. That's this guy down here. So pay attention to whomever. I mean, it could be a few people that want to come, want to approach you and come towards you or whatever. I would just be very cautious about who you let get close to you. If you choose to hear them out, that's your business, but just know that this person is still, even when they come towards you, I do believe that they're still hiding something. They're still hiding something. And it could be the fact that they haven't changed, and that if they are feeling a sense of instability or they're at some type of financial deficit, there's also like a refusal to acknowledge that they're part of the problem. They're part of the problem that they've created for themselves. So there's that. All right, let's grab some index cards. I really like this deck. This is a solid read. I really like it. Okay. Somebody acted foolishly in haste. Someone will try to protect your honor. Someone's keeping secrets. Someone says, I have more tricks up my sleeve. An older man may be relevant. Could be dealing with a Taurus or a Gemini. The month of May may be significant. Somebody here is experiencing bad luck. We have a liar and a thief. Someone projects negative energies towards your children. Someone tries to convince other people that you're crazy. Someone loves to gaslight to destroy your confidence. And Aries may be significant. There's a stolen inheritance. You prove them all wrong. Someone using children. You know how I feel about that. There's someone here with a big ego. You may have them blocked. Somebody refuses to change. I said down here, could be a Leo. Someone's blaming you for their losses. Imagine stealing an inheritance and then them blaming you for them being at a loss. Imagine that. Too much time being focused on things that need to be released. Someone's afraid you'll reject them or their offer. An older woman. So we had an older man and older woman. I did say there's, divine masculine and feminine out here. There's somebody uses cruelty masked as tough love. It's the person that has a big ego who is also a liar and a thief, potentially the older woman. Somebody left you for dead, or they feel as though you've left them for dead. This Leo could have stolen an inheritance and they're the one experiencing bad luck. Someone's in deep regret. You're no longer afraid. Someone does things with an expectation of what they'll get in return. Someone's in deep despair over the distance. Someone can't keep their lies straight. They have ever-changing stories. The month of February may be significant. Could be dealing with Aquarius or a Pisces. All right, I just want to flip. A father may be significant. Somebody's dealing with emotional imbalance. They can't control their emotions. And that was a theme that we first talked about. Like, that's a lesson for somebody out here, that you learn how to control your emotions despite whatever chaos is going on around you. This is why I talk a lot about like Mercury retrograde, because I have a lot of Mercury placements. Mercury retrograde basically puts us in energy that we've already experienced, and it just asks us to make different decisions. Like, okay, I'm going to give this to you. We've already been here. We played this game. I want you to make new decisions, because what it does is it accelerates our growth, right? So if you learn the lesson, you don't have to repeat it. We know that we repeat lessons when we don't learn them. So you get an opportunity to like self-correct. And when you don't actually do that, that's when the fun starts. All right. Somebody may have been trying to affect your crown chakra. A Libra may be significant. Truth is being exposed. Someone exhibits abusive patterns. Your light pisses off their demons. Someone's home life is in turmoil. Someone exhibits racist behavior. Someone is self-absorbed and possessive. and they are grieving the loss of you and losing material comforts. Womp womp. Oh, you know what? Let's do the dates. I'm like, we're at the end. I haven't done the dates for the last few readings. Dates and synchronicities. It's 11:44 on my clock right now. There's a synchronicity. Alright, somebody has deep feelings. You could have deep feelings. Summertime may be significant. Family issues may be relevant. Let it go. You're a busy bee or will be becoming a busy bee. Meditate. Somebody has immature emotions. You're spending time apart from someone. And we have soul tribe. 414, 1114, 2311. Temporary setback. You may have experienced a temporary setback in the summer. There's a happy outcome to family issues. Trust. Let it go, but trust. Trust the process. There's a lack of passion. Time to forgive. Repeating the past. Someone who has immature emotions is repeating the past. Time to speak your truth with honesty. 1919, 919, 1515, 151, 141, 116. There could be a temporary setback on the horizon. Low vibes, more to come. Somebody may have had low vibes in the summertime. Imbalanced. Think it through. Assert yourself. Financial improvements. Romance is yours. Someone desires reconnection. Someone has sexual interest in you. Interesting. These last three cards, romance is yours, desires reconnection, and sexual interest. But in this, there's been some time spent apart from someone else because maybe they're exhibiting immature emotions that you've experienced in the past. Bottom of the deck is temptation. So just be aware of what's coming forward. Let's look at the dates. Oh, I have 177. 110. 1515, 1919. Okay, let's look at the dates. I have January the 3rd, January the 7th, 8th, and 10th, January the 14th, 15th, and 16th. I have February the 8th, February the 5th, February the 9th. I have March the 5th, March the 7th, March the 9th, March 12th, March 16th. April the 7th, 8th, and 9th. April the 19th, April the 24th. I have May the 2nd, May the 3rd, May 8th, 9th, and 12th. I have no dates in June. Did I say March 1st? I have no dates in June. Okay. July, I have several dates in July. I've got July the 3rd, July the 4th, July 8th, 9th, July 14th, 16th, 19th, and 24th. Then I have July 1st, 10th, July 15th, July 17th, and July 19th. Alright, then I have August. Oh, I got August in a couple places. Okay, let's start on this side. I have August the 1st, August the 10th, August the 16th, August the 2nd, August the 4th, August the 5th, 7th, and 9th. September the 2nd, September the 3rd, September the 5th, September 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. September the 7th and 8th. September the 12th and 16th. October the 1st. October the 7th and 8th. October the 15th and 16th. Then I have November the 14th, the 15th, November 19th, November the 23rd. December the 5th, December 3rd, 5th, and 9th. Yeah, alright. And then we're going to do the dice because that's enough for all the dates. Okay. We got the South Node. We have Saturn. And I believe this is Mercury. So South Node, Saturn, and Mercury. Remember when I said in the top line, I was like, somebody learned to heal something in the way that they were communicating? It's through lessons. Saturn, Mercury, the way that we communicate. South Node, we're releasing karmic patterns. Okay. So then we have 7th house. That's relationships. I have the 7th house out here twice. The 7th house of relationships twice. The 12th house, self-undoing, endings. Right? Then we have Capricorn. And then I have Aries out here twice. All right. And Aries is the 1st house of self. Capricorn rules the 10th house of reputation. I love these. I love these dice. Anyway, I'm going to leave this there. If any parts of this reading resonate for you, gave you clarity or confirmation of your own story, give the video a thumbs up so we can circulate into the algorithm. If you are still here with me at 1 hour and 26 minutes into this reading, I love you so much. Thank you for all the likes, shares, subscribes, tips, donations, the super thanks, all the new bookings from the new clients. I really love y'all and I appreciate you for helping me build the platform. For us to grow, like we literally grew by 20,000 people over the course of 2025. So I'm hoping that we do big things for the year of 2026. We are on the road to 100,000 because, child, I'm going to get that plaque. I don't care what I got to do. I'm going to get that plaque. I'm going to get that 100,000 plaque. I'm going to put it right here on the wall so it's hanging over my shoulder because that's the goal. All right. I love you guys and I will see you in the next video. Take care.